...2023 elections. Don't use MC Oluomo to distribute Lagos election materials. Atiku wants Inec. I tell you, because definitely with the influence of Tinubu in Lagos, okay, I'm sure before Atiku came out to say this, it means that there are rumors and there are filters indicating that Inec would want to use MC Oluomo to distribute election materials. That would be too bad, because MC Oluomo is like, he's a member of APC and is an interest person governing certain interest group in APC. So if INEC uses him to distribute election materials, that is conflict of interest, and that will lead to election fraud. That will be too bad. That will be too bad. And there's no smoke without fire. Before Atiku is coming out to give this warning to INEC, it means that there's a very formidable information, there's a very concrete information about it that has come out and filtered into their ears. Okay? So it will be a very bad thing if INEC should ever conceive the idea of using MC Oluomo to distribute election materials in Lagos. A whole APC chieftain. You want to give him election materials that for all, including APC and other parties will use to him to distribute. That would be too bad. If INEC ever tries that, then it means that INEC doesn't even have credibility. Their credibility will fall to zero. That is it. The presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, PDP, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has warned the Independent National Electoral Commission not to use Lagos State Parks Management Committee led by Musiliu Akinsanya, aka MC Oluomo, to distribute election materials. National Chairman of the INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, had on Tuesday held a meeting with the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria, with the agreement that they would transport election officials and ballot papers to polling units on election day. That would be a very bad idea. That because you're having a meeting with the National Union of Road Transport Workers, therefore you want to use them to distribute materials, that will be too bad. Government should provide the logistics independently for distribution of election materials. The former vice president, in a statement by his special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, said to preserve the sanctity of this election and ensure that there is no room for electoral malpractice, INEC must ensure that MC Oluomo-led group is not mobilized to move materials. Shaibu explained that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State had banned the NURTW because the national leadership of the union suspended MC Oluomo. He added that Sanwo-Olu had also banned RTIN and then set up the Lagos State Parks Management Committee and appointed MC Oluomo the chairman so that he will have total control of the entire public commercial transport system of Lagos. Can you imagine? The statement read, "It has been brought to our attention that INEC will be using members of the NURTW and other registered unions to transport election materials and electoral officials and corps members on the election day. Unfortunately, in Lagos State, there is no NURTW or RTIN as they have been prescribed by Governor Sanwo-Olu. Lagos is now operating a park management committee led by MC Oluomo, who is a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. On October 9, 2022, he and his transport thugs held a march for Tinubu in several parts of Lagos State. To preserve the sanctity of this election and ensure that there is no room for electoral malpractice, INEC must ensure that MC Oluomo is not allowed access to ballot papers. INEC should not make use of the State Park Committee. Rather, the Commission should reach out to the national leadership of the NURTW or engage the services of any logistic company for the purpose of distributing sensitive electoral materials in Lagos State." Wow. This one is a complex one. Why? Because Yakubu Mahmoud, the national Inec chairman, had meeting with the Road Transport Workers Union in the entire country. He agreed that he was going to use them to distribute election material. In Lagos State, now PDP is coming out now to say INEC should not use Oluomo group, which is actually a road transport workers group. The government should not use them to distribute election materials. Because that will amount to a lot of fraud, that will amount to a lot of things. And voters will be disenfranchised. It's going to be a problem. That will give room for malpractice of the highest order. So now they have been called, right, never to try that. Atiku is calling on INEC chairman nationwide and all of them never to try that using Oluomo led motopark management group to distribute election materials. That would be disastrous. Okay. So I say, does it mean that INEC does not have vehicles? This is a shame, and that is true. Right? The thing surprised me. Okay, I wonder when I heard the news that INEC planned to partner with NURTW on logistics. That is actually a wrong idea. It shouldn't happen. But he is saying the fact. Since MC Oluomo is already an APC core supporter, that is true. So what Atiku is saying is correct. MC Oluomo is a chieftain of APC and a member of APC Presidential Campaign Council. So why will such person be used to distribute election material in which they are also part of the consumption group that will use the papers? Oga man, go change your mind. All right? Oga man, go change your mindset. What kind of mindset you want to change? You see what is happening and you say you go change mindset. Which kind of mindset you go change? Which mindset are you talking about? That is a good question. That's a good question. What kind of mindset are you talking about? So MC Oluomo is just popular to the extent that Atiku is mindful of him. He is a common criminal. When Anene was alive, was he not popular? So it's popular now. Atiku is 100% right in this. INEC should not try it at all. MC Oluomo and his boys should not be allowed 1,000 centimeter near Lagos State ballot paper. Those are Tinubu's rigging machineries. And that is true. That is true. I don't know what the game INEC is trying to play with MC Oluomo here. He just have to be very, 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 very careful. Very, 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 very careful. Somebody say, Lori Buruku, Omo Yibo, who will take Lagos from APC? You don't have sense. You are from, and can you imagine that insulting people? APC people can insult people. Their job is to insult people. Okay? True talk, Atiku is wise. Where PDP and LP is they will not bring it. Can you imagine? They will not bring it, that is true. So if MC Oluomo is in charge of distribution of election materials in Lagos, he will make sure that the ballot paper, the election materials will not get to where we have PDP, Labour Party, and other political parties. Okay? Atiku Abubakar will floor white powder sniffer in Lagos. Can you imagine? Who is white powder sniffer? Atiku is on top of the game. Victory is certain. God is blessing Nigeria. You are insulting again. So that's good. That is what Atiku is saying, warning INEC in respect of the meeting that Mahmoud Yakubu had with the National Union of Road Transport Workers. Okay, in Lagos State particularly, they should not use MC Oluomo to distribute election material because that will amount to conflict of interest. Okay, so thank you for listening, and let's have your comment below for these articles' statement and views.